It's Friday. We're gonna talk about what's sold. Yeah, it's Friday. I hope you sold something too. Yes, I really, really do. It's Friday. Hi, and how are ya? It is Friday, so we are back here in my office. We're going to talk about some things that sold this week from my eBay store. As usual, I'm going to tell you what the item is, how much I got it for, how much it sold for, and then how much the net profit is after we back out all of those pesky fees. But I sold some really cool stuff this week, so let's get started. The first one, let's see here, it is. If I gather my thoughts, it is a vintage Ace tap and die set. I picked this up for $5. It was missing one tiny little piece, but I disclosed that in the listing and they were fine with it. So it sold for $50. I did accept an offer on it. That gave me $36.68 and it took just 1 month to sell. Tap and die sets usually do well for me. If you can get them cheap enough, I would encourage you to check them out when you see them. When I got positive feedback on it already, so this is good. All right. This is a cute little set of vintage silver plate Pan Am first class flatware. Got this actually for free from a neighbor who was doing a clear out, which is great. Thank you so much. It sold for $45 and that gave me $37.59 and it just took a month for that to go. They're real cute too, like petite. All right, this is a hero find. This is a vintage ship in a bottle. It was actually a nice size. It was maybe about that big. And it had a neat little wooden base. Got it for $8. It sold for $35. And that gave me $20.88 and it took 8 months to sell. Ooh, a pair of pants. I actually picked these up for myself. They just did not work for me. They were too short, if I remember right. I paid $5 for them. They sold for $27. I'm so glad I found a home for them. And that gave me $17.59, and they took 3 months to sell. Perfect timing, too, because they're corduroy, so we're getting into fall. Alrighty, you see my hand in there. It's my hand. This is, how to explain it here, it's a wax about this big. It's a religious icon. I believe it's the Madonna and Child. Not Madonna, but the Madonna and Child. I got it for $1, sold for $20, and that gave me $15.50, and it took 2 months for that one to sell. It was really interesting. When I found it, I remember I was like, what is this? It's wax. And I wrapped it with bubble wrap just to hopefully keep it insulated since we are having such hot temperatures right now for shipping. Hopefully that's going to be okay. All right, Eileen Fisher. This is it was 100% silk, open front situation, real pretty. I got it for $4.69. It sold for $34, and that gave me $23.99, and that one took 2 months to sell. Gotta love the Eileen, especially her 100% linen, 100% silk. If you or wool, hemp, she has a hemp line as well. So if you see the 100% stuff, check it out. All right, some more silverware. This one was a stainless Korea, and the pattern is called Crossroads. I got it for $8, sold for $45, and that gave me $29.59, and that took 10 months to sell. There were 56 pieces in that set, which is great. Gosh, that was, yeah. I just lost my mind. Sorry. That was a good one. Moving on. This is a cute little watermelon cutting board. It was brand new. It had all the information still on the back. I picked it up for $1.87, and that sold for $17. Gave me $11.82, and that just took 4 months to go. It was real cute. Not the greatest money maker, but I love, when you find things for cheap that are brand new, kind of can't help getting it. Okay, hero find again. This was super cute. It's a little frog. It was one of those things where you would put a sponge in it. It was probably from the 70s, early 80s, made out of straw, and it was a frog. I got it for $6.58, sold for $30, giving me $18.61, and it took 4 months for that little guy to go. All right, another Delft canal house. This one was interesting because it wasn't just blue and white. It had the brick color and the roof color on there. I got it for $1 at a yard sale. Why not, right? And that one sold for $25, giving me $19.84, and it took 1 month for that one to sell. All righty, another hero find. This is hero find week. Yes, thanks, Jonathan. This is a Spyderco knife sharpener, and we picked this guy up for $3. It sold for $39, giving us $29.78, and it only took a month for that one to go. Spyderco is a local company here right down the street. We have Spyderco knives and they are great. So when you see Spyderco, definitely check out whatever it is. It's probably going to be good. All right, moving on. Another clothing item. This was a Harley Davidson vest. It had some patches on it. One of that patch on the back actually was just off center. A tiny little bit, which was kind of driving me crazy. And maybe that's why it took so long to sell, because I had this for a long time. I spent $10 on it. It sold for $60, and that gave me $40.90, and I had it for 20 months. That's almost 2 years. Couldn't believe it. It was a double XL, so maybe that played part in it also, but either way, it sold, and I'm glad. All right, here's some yarn. This is the Crystal Palace Mochi Plus yarn. 6 balls of yarn. I got it for $4.02. It sold for $40, and that gave me $29.87, and it just took just under a month for those to go. And I still got more yarn. It keeps rolling out of here. I love it. All right, you might recognize these. Maybe you've seen these before, but this is a deck of cards that are they're by Liberty, and they are the Iraqis Most Wanted. They're from the 90s. Got all the big players in there. These used to sell for more money. I had sat on these for a good while. Yeah, almost 2 years on these too. So I got them for $1 back when they were selling for like $25 a deck. But this one took a while, so I ended up taking an offer on them for $15, and that gave me $11.41. And it took 22 months. Yeah, 22 months for those to sell. So I might not pick them up again, but I might, just because it's interesting when you come across those, and they're usually pretty cheap. So, all right, here's my banger for the week. This was really exciting. Hopefully you saw the video when I sourced these. This is vintage, I can't even spit it out. It's vintage Boraxo powdered hand soap. You remember back in the day, you'd go into like a gas station bathroom and you pile of powder come out on your hand, and it was weird. And I don't prefer the powdered soap, but a lot of people really like it. I had 3 boxes of this that I got for $6 at a yard sale, and it sold for $269.97. It was my full asking price on those for all 3 boxes. I know it says refunded up here. It's because I refunded for the overpayment she did on the shipping. I just still can't believe. Yeah, it also came with a dispenser, so I listed that separately. So hopefully that'll sell soon. And then also another partial box that I will sell for less, of course. But Boraxo powdered soap, keep your eye out for this. It is so good. And it actually only took 3 days for that to sell. So I didn't even say my profit was $223.41 in 3 days. Yeah. Boraxo is where it's at. I would think too, when you are looking for this at an estate sale, it's probably going to be in the garage, or if you go to some kind of liquidation of a shop of any kind, they're probably going to have, well, I don't want to say probably, but that's the kind of place where you find the Boraxo soap. So yeah, that was a good one. Okay, moving on. Done with that one. The next one here is a Pampered Chef, brand new rectangular baking sheet. Baking stone. It was a stone. Okay, so this one I got for $6. It sold for $30, and that gave me $17.75, and it took just 1 week for that. Whenever I see the brand new Pampered Chef stones, I usually pick them up if they're cheap. So, alrighty, here's a pair of Ferragamos. I think this was a hero find too. These we got for $5, and they sold for $50, giving $37.20, and they took 6 months to sell. And they were a pebbled leather. Very nice shoes. All right, here's a cute little Russian carved trinket box. It was black lacquered, carved, very pretty. It had St. Peter's Basilica on the top there. I got it for $2 at a yard sale. Sold it for $17, and that gave me $13.89, and it took 10 months for that one to sell. Okay, this clock was really cool. This was a vintage General Electric, and it's called a red eye school clock. There's a little red bulb in the middle of it there. I picked it up for $10. It sold for $60, and that gave me $40.38, and it took 3 weeks for that one to sell. And I just picked up another General Electric school clock recently, so I'm excited to get that one listed too. All right, here's a shirt by Lasarte Pedagoli. we're going to move on from that. I'm sure I said it wrong. I got it for $3.12. It sold for $20, and that gave me $13.50. And it took a whole year for that one to sell. Actually, over a year, almost 13 months for that one. All right, this is a real cute, small, I think it was about 6 inches tall, blown glass, totally clear with white sand. It was a 40-minute clock because it did not make it to an hour. And you should see me just staring at it as it was getting right down to the end with my stopwatch going. But anyway, I got it for just $2, sold for $30, and that gave me $22.99, and it just took 6 months for that one to sell. And I just noticed that I always say it just took 6 months is a bit of time, but regardless, let's go. All right, here's the ET trash can that I picked up recently. Got it for $3.05. It sold for $40. That gave me $24.41 because I also had to deduct, I lost $5 in the shipping on that one, but still good profit, and it only took a month for that one to sell. Another lens. This was a Sigma DC 18-125 millimeter. That one I got for $2. It sold for $45, and that gave me $35.85, and it just took 2 weeks for that one to go. All right, more clothes. We're kind of mixing it up this week, clothes and stuff. This shirt is by The Nutter, which is an offshoot from the Chubbies brand. I got this Hawaiian shirt for $1 at a yard sale, and that I sold for $25. It gave me $19.85, and it took 8 months for that one to go. Went international too. All right, here's a cute little nightie. This is a vintage Eileen West 100% cotton nightgown. I got it for $5.38. It sold for $28, and that gave me $18.08, and it took 4 months. The Eileen West brand, it does sell pretty well. Yeah, I'll definitely pick that up again. It was okay, sorry. I lost my mind again. Okay, so here's some Thule universal snowboard mounts for your roof rack. I got these for $10, and they sold for $60, giving me $40.38, and those just took 4 days to sell. That Thule stuff. I've got some other roof mounts that I just listed, and gosh, I think I listed them, I want to say, for like $200, and hopefully those will go soon too. Their stuff is great. Okay, one sale on the Poshmark. Yay! This is an Affliction. That's the brand. Affliction. It was a pea coat, double-breasted pea coat. Size was XXL, so I had to find the particular buyer for that one. But I did well on it. I paid $10 for this at a yard sale last year. No, not last year. Sorry. I only had it listed for 3 months. No, I'm sorry. See, I'm a dummy today. It was 13 months. So yes, it was last year. Got it for $10. Sold for $139, and that gave me $101.20. And yeah, 13 months to sell on that one. So keep your eye out for the Affliction, especially their outerwear. I do better with the jackets, of course, than I do with the t-shirts. So keep that in mind. Sorry for my scatteredness. I gotta get out of here. I have an appointment. So thanks for watching. I hope you get out there this weekend and find some really cool stuff and get it listed, get it sold. I'm going to see you on Monday. And like I said, thanks for watching.